What's up, everybody? It's your man Chan here. I wanted to talk about something I hadn't really talked to too many people about, I guess. I was at my current band's practice last night and then wound up talking about the, it's kind of a harsh word, downfall of my band. My band is called YOUPEOPL, and how it ended, which, it wasn't like, there wasn't infighting or anything like that, or drug problems, which I've had bands that kind of did that kind of demise too. But anyway, well, the band started, I guess I should paint a picture. The band started in 2016 or 2018, something like that. My partner in that band, Brandon Mason, awesome dude, still love him. We talk every once in a while. He contacted me. That time was pretty tumultuous politically, much like it is today, anyway, I don't want to get into that, but, so he contacted me and said, hey man, I think it's time a new voice came through the scene. And so we put something together, started writing songs together, and released 2 EPs, and a couple of other singles, some covers, over, I don't know, several years. I think the last stuff we really did was 2022. But, at one point, so the point of this video is, we could never really get any momentum. And, I'm largely at fault for that. We got a few years in, and I had a life opportunity to move to California for the company that I was working for. We're based in St. Louis, so I moved out there March of 2019, and then eventually the pandemic hit. So, the world kind of stopped anyway. So any other band that was in existence had a huge pause as it was. But we were, but everybody was still, the trend, became, record music, record videos, and, put it out there on YouTube, social media, all that stuff. So, we did it. I was fortunate enough to live near the school that I was teaching at. I was music director for this company. And, we'd all but shut down. We were doing like virtual learning. And I had access to the school, so I could go in there and just do my lessons from there. But I recorded a good chunk of the EP there. Did a lot of it in my room at my or my place, condo I was living at. I had some roommates. But, if I wanted some separation, some solitude, I would go to the school and just spend the day there and play on the instruments, and recorded a lot of video. That's kind of how this YouTube channel started too. I had a friend out there who encouraged me to start a channel. And so I was doing a lot of videos, guitar drone videos and meditation videos. And I never quite got into the education video aspect of it. But the band had already started by then, YOUPEOPL, and we had a couple of years, played a few shows and had some decent traction. Actually, we played a couple of music festivals, local, St. Louis music festivals, and had really good responses, and put out our first EP, and that had a really good response. And then pandemic, I'm in California, created a second EP. We actually signed on to this collective. It was sort of a label, no financial backing or whatever. And I had some distribution through them and some coverage and things like that. We didn't really get to take full advantage of what they did. Like, they used to book shows, and we, played a couple shows for them, and they were okay. Our performances were okay, but like, whatever. Anyway, So fast forward, I moved back to St. Louis eventually and tried to, had the EPs in place and finally released another one and then put a band together. It was just, originally just a recording project, for Brandon and myself, but we decided we wanted to play these songs live. So we put a 4-piece band together once and played a few shows, and then pandemic. I moved back and then we wound up having a 7-piece band, which was surprising and fulfilling. It was really, really cool because everybody in the band was spot on, fucking awesome. Although, with that comes, everybody's busy. So, they're each individually their own artist. They've got other projects, so it was tough to wrangle everybody, but we got, a routine together, practiced on, Sunday evenings or afternoons or whatever. And then finally did a few shows, another showcase, this thing called Lo-Fi Cherokee, which is an annual thing. But that lo-fi was at the tail end of the pandemic. So restrictions were still in place, mask mandates were off and on. But, the format was these non-traditional venues, like clothing stores and brewery houses and, all of these things were turned into venues, and these bands would play and people would come in and watch. So at the tail end of the pandemic, restrictions were in place. So there was no one in any of the venues. And I'd been a part of lo-fi and different, sat in for a guitar player one time, played some percussion for another band another time. I can't remember which one was first. And then had something to do with, and just, wind up in a lot of the videos because, it's moves down this street called Cherokee Street, and they'd have 2 crews, and one crew would be filming, the other crew would be setting up, and then they'd start filming. The next band would go to the next venue, and it would rotate like that. And if you're a patron, or if you're, the music fans following the bands, depending on where you're standing, you wind up in there. So had lots of exposure for all the musicians, lots of exposure for some of the artists that were coming through. The camera crews were amazing, and then the sound and all that stuff. So we finally get one for my own band, our own band. And we played well. We had just recorded the song, maybe the weekend before or whatever. It was a new song, and I think still it was the best song that I wrote, for at least for the band. Anyway, so that it was really cool. It was fulfilling because we got, on Lo-Fi Cherokee, this legendary thing. The video's on YouTube right now. The song was called "What a Year," all caps, periods in between "What a Year," and it was based on, I named it from a card that Brandon and his family sent. I don't know if it was Christmas or whatever, but that's what it said on it. What a year, because of the pandemic. So, and that's basically what the song was about, living in that situation. And then, politicians back and forth at each other, politicizing fucking masks, life-saving things and vaccinations and stuff like that. So listen to the song, it's really cool. Anyway, so we did that performance, and then there was a rap party, and it just felt like we could never get any cool momentum. Like either I changed something, by moving away, or, that filming that day was just kind of lackluster because we did this really great performance of this song, and there's just, one guy, a photographer, and there's a camera crew around, but there's a photographer standing in the door, he's taking photos, and there's a handful of people like behind him and can't come in. And live music feeds on energy, and bands feed on that reciprocal energy that you get back and forth from fans, and it just wasn't happening. So there was a rap party that night too, and we were slated to play that, and there was the return of this amazing band called Sinister Dane, and they were supposed to headline the rap party. So there was like a solo artist, and then maybe somebody else, like a duo or something. And then we were supposed to play, and then Sinister Dane was supposed to play. So I'm going way too far into detail about this. But Sinister Dane filmed their cut, you know, at the venue, but on the floor in front. And for whatever reason, the timing was, you know, they said, well, why don't we just do our show down here? And so they did that, and the fucking crowd came in, and they filmed their thing, and then they played their set. And then, you know, some of them stuck around. One guy had to drive back to Kansas City or whatever, or Lawrence, I forget where he's from, and he had to go. And, you know, and the fucking crowd went with him. And it's like, okay, now here comes the show, and there's a smattering of people in this big-ass fucking room. And it's like, fuck, man. And then we wound up being, you know, playing last, you know, the headline slot, if you will. Not really headlining, but... And so the energy was gone. You know, Sinister Dane crushed it. They killed it. And it was fucking amazing. I was standing right there. I'm probably in the footage, too. And then that was over. Then there was a gap. And then the artists started playing. And then we wound up being, I think, the only band, full band on the thing. And that was later in the night. You know, Sinister Dane was done by 6 or 7 o'clock. And then we didn't go on till maybe 10. Nobody really left. And fuck, man. Next thing we did was August of like maybe the following year, a return of the venues and a return of live music, and it was this great thing. And one of the band members of the band, so it was supposed to be, again, a duet, and then another cool, awesome band, and then us, and then a third full band, fourth act, following us. And what happened, one of the members of that band that was supposed to go after us, like we were like in the sandwich spot, the meat of the sandwich, man, a fucking like 9:30 or 9:15 or something like that on a Friday or Saturday night at this legendary venue in St. Louis. And one of the members of the last band got COVID, which can't blame them. That shit happens, you know. And, I mean, I'm already 12 and a half minutes, sorry. And just like I just did, momentum shift. And so they found a replacement. The organizers found a replacement. And by the way, they did a great job with the show. You know, it was a beautiful day. Like, it was called the Ice Cream Social. And they had ice cream vendors, and like, it was a beautiful summer day, and like there was a patio outside and like a big stage, and you know, room that fits maybe 150, 200 people with a balcony and all that stuff. And full room all day. Like I'm milling around. We're, you know, backstage and, you know, going down and saying hi to people, hanging out, watching the show. And then, so they brought in this band, which is really cool, you know, the Red and Black Brass Band. But they are like a Louisiana, like, marching band, you know, with happy up-tempo songs and a big sound. And they brought them in and squeezed them in front of us. And then, dude, they blew the fucking doors off the wall. And then after they fucking played, I guess because it was late too, but all the families left. There were 200 people milling around. By the time we got on stage, you know, at like whatever it was, after the band played, there were 10 people in the fucking audience. Like three of them were another, you know, this other band that I was in. Then one was a, you know, woman I was dating at the time and her 2 friends. And then there were like 2 or 3 people off to our left. Just heartbreaking. I was like, fucking shit, dude. Like, just the momentum, just like, it was like, oh man, great opportunity, let's do that. And then something crazy happened. And, you know, I mean, granted, I know things, if they feel like they're falling apart, they're generally pretty much falling into place, depending on your perspective. So I think that band needed to be moved out of the way, because I was really putting all my focus into that and just trying to hold this thing together. And we made some really cool music, made some really cool videos. I had some really great opportunities, but it just never took off the way I expected it to and the way I hoped it would. You know, so fast forward to, you know, me deciding to pursue music more and pursue the arts more. You know, I was teaching and things like that, but like I had some ethical differences within the company that I was working for, and I just had to draw a line. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And that's been tough. That's been, you know, ask any musician, artist, writer, poet, whatever, you know, it's tough to really make it on your craft alone. In this town, seems like cover bands and tribute bands are the way to go. And if you're not doing that, you're probably not making a whole lot of money. Unless you're playing, you know, maybe jazz or blues or something like that. I don't even know how well they do. But yeah, man, it's been just, you know, what I could have expected. And, you know, the savings don't last as long. And then I started doing solo gigs as You People, you know, like here and there I would do some singing with some tracks and stuff like that and playing the guitars or whatever. And that kind of got, you know, felt a little empty. So I started doing like improvised or sort of roughly organized soundscape things, you know, playing these kind of noise shows or avant-garde, you know, atmospheric shows and stuff with these other venues. And a lot of that stuff just doesn't make any money either. You know, I've made a couple bucks here and there, but so, you know, I'm back to teaching. I'm back to working at this music store in Granite City. You know, it's a cool opportunity. You get to do some fun things like taking photos of guitars and stuff like that, which that's, you know, taking a little while to get organized too, because I'm not there that much. It takes a little more time to actually get that working. However, 17 minutes later in this video, I just wanted to say, and of course, you know, not to mention being told, you know, well, you should be doing it for the art, don't do it to make money. It's like, yeah, dude, I've been doing this for 40 fucking years. I buy strings and I go to practice and I work on my craft. I play my guitars every day, fall asleep with my guitars on my bed, you know. Doesn't open any doors for new partners to come in because you walk in and see the fucking guitar gear everywhere or recording equipment everywhere. You know, I do it because I love it. I do it because I'm compelled to. I do it because I'm made for music. I know that. I get it. I know that. But it's really great to be acknowledged for your craft and acknowledged for your artistry and compensated for it. You know, a lot of venues even coming back are like, well, we can't pay you, but we'd love to, you know, if you want to try to sell tickets or, you know, you don't do that in St. Louis. People don't fucking buy tickets in St. Louis, man. Maybe it's just my experience. Maybe it's been the music that I play, but, you know, I can't play, you know, 1, 4, 6, 5, 2, 1 chord progressions and completely be happy about it. You know, I need something to mix up my keep my, you know, neurodivergent brain stimulated, and that may be some of the core to my successes and then some of my slumps, I could say. All that to say, I'm not complaining. I know how it is. It's a roller coaster. And I do have now, so, and all that to say too, you know, rolling into my film or my, you know, documentary project, you know, that was just a couple of things by chance and a couple of conversations and thank you, Brian McClelland, for 2 times, you know, first time getting me started, and then second time, you know, really putting the fire. Like, we went to see Billy D. Williams do a talk on his book in Kirkwood at, you know, this cool theater. And we get there, meet up, you know, we get in, he gets a book, and we sit down, and the first thing he says to me, he turns to me, so, where's the film project? It's like, oh, fuck. I wasn't working on it. He's like, yeah, well, you should. And dude, again, Brian, you know, he's part of how you know, my YouTube profile here. You know, he did a series called The Boom Room, Live from the Boom Room, which was, you know, filmed in his basement. He'd have like solo acts, or now, you know, bands come in and film a song, and then with just beautiful lighting, you know, dramatic lighting, and, you know, a really cool setting, great lights, which I just said. And it's the most viewed video. My solo song is the most viewed video in the history of that. It's 106,000 views. I'm so proud of that. I just didn't see it coming, man. He was telling me, like, we spent a whole couple days like updating each other. Holy shit, 3,000 views in 2 hours. Holy shit, it's 10,000 views, you know, after, by the end of the day, you know. And then, you know, a week or so later, it's been it's been a couple of years now, but like 106, 107,000 views. It's amazing. So I can't say that I'm not out there. You know, I've got this documentary project that's working, and it's the momentum. It's a snowball, man. The momentum is, you know, taking me in directions that I would hope for, but never really saw coming. And the success is just astounding, you know. So we've got some backing and sponsors, and, you know, really good friendships and contacts, and doing some traveling, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be on television next Thursday, I guess, live, some TV show on Channel 4, KMOV Channel 4. What is it called? My St. Louis Live, which I'll be advertising about that. But, you know, I gotta say, you know, this journey has taught me a whole lot of different things, man. You know, seeing my bank account go from 59 cents, you know, and stretching and spending your last $50 on groceries, and just making sure, you know, eating one egg at a time, and making sure you're rationing things. You know, how long can I make a box of rice last? You know, all right, I'll have these bags of ramen in here. It's just when it comes down to it, how can I church it up? Oh, there's that egg. All right, there's my egg for the day. From that to, you know, prospering, and it's just an amazing ride. And the successes that I've had, I am completely grateful for. I am grateful also for the lessons that I've had, and, you know, the peaks and the valleys, and the dynamics of this life, this artist's life, this musician's life. I'm grateful for that, because it teaches me lessons every single time. And I am so hopeful for I've got a hopeful outlook for the successes that are happening now, you know, even those that are behind the scenes that I can't see happening. I know teams out there working on some really amazing things, you know, some miracles, and so many cool things have happened so far. But I'm really looking forward to what's coming up next. Yeah. So with all of that, my name is Chan Maurice Evans. I'm one of you people. Keep an eye out for my documentary series. It is on my YouTube channel. It's got a title right now, but I think that might evolve. You know, my favorite band in the world, they had to change their name just as things were shifting too. So I feel like things are shifting in our favor. And I'm really looking forward to it. So with that, thank you so much. I love you. Love and light. Kiss your loved ones if you can. Give them a hug. Hold your pets tight. Be safe out there.